Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode on Hardy's Books. Now you might be wondering, Ross, where on earth are the books? Let me just say, moving house has proved to be even more challenging than we could have possibly imagined. And so far, there are zero bookcase. Well, no, there's one. There's one bookcase in the house. It's over there. But there are plenty more bookcases to build and lots of books to put on them. So you're seeing this room in an unfinished state. There will be books behind me eventually. But you'll just have to wait for them. Moving house, as I said, has been very tough, but has been, exciting, new adventure, lots of lessons learned, I think, in the process of moving house. And today, I want to contrive a list of 4 things that moving house has taught me about writing. And when I say contrive, let's just say these things are about as loosely based on moving house as it is possible to be. Just take it as 4 generic lessons on writing with a moving house theme. How about that? Oh, we've got post. What is this, Laura?
You are not allowed to see this.
I'm not allowed to see whatever that is. Birthday's coming soon. Lesson 1 about writing, learn from moving house. So recently I reread one of my favourite books on writing, which is Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott. And Anne Lamott has lots of different tips about writing and kind of philosophy lessons. And I think one of the biggest tips that I've taken, which is also then kind of transferred into the project of moving house and making a house a home, is to break things down into little tasks. If you look at your novel or your house as one big thing, naturally there's going to feel quite intimidating because there's so much to do. Like, our floor plan here has doubled in size. We've got double the number of rooms that we had in the old place. We got so much to do, so much furniture to build. We had built-ins in all our old place, but this place, there's none of it. So it almost feels overwhelming. And in fact, on the first few days, it really did feel overwhelming. It felt like there was no way I was going to be able to do all these things I wanted to do as fast as I wanted to do them. When you are overwhelmed by the amount to do, what you need to do is to break everything down into little tasks. I'm also on the second draft of my novel, and one of the methods I've used to get the second draft over the line, it's still not there, but it will be, is to find all the areas where I need new scenes, put them literally in the manuscript as like a little note, and the number of words that I feel like that scene needs to be. And then you can extract all of those scenes, make a big to-do list of things to do, and then you can just work through each one as an individual task. Not looking at everything else, just focusing on individual tasks. So painting this room was an individual task. Painting the room upstairs, individual task. Putting together some furniture, an individual task. And for that time, your focus is on that one thing, and once you've achieved it, you can feel satisfied that you did it, and that those incremental things will eventually add up to equal the whole. So thank you, Anne Lamott, for that little tip. That has really been very helpful, and I really highly recommend that book. Number 2 is to reach out for support. I wouldn't have been able to do this if it hadn't been for Laura. Laura and I own this house together. If I bought it by myself and I wasn't with Laura, doing the whole house by myself would have been completely impossible. When things got a bit overwhelming and all the tasks got overwhelming, I had to fall back on Laura a bit and kind of just be completely honest about how I felt. And she stepped up and really helped manage these tasks, and she got on with things when I felt that I couldn't. Falling back on someone for advice, for support, is always going to help you when you're writing. And in one of the Discord servers which we're really active on, which is Andrew Watson's Discord, there is a lovely little community of writers, all helping each other out, all giving each other support, advice, like just pep talks if necessary, just to get those drafts over the line. And sometimes all you need is just someone to say, you've got this, you're going to do great, this is fantastic. And Laura has really been that support for me as we've moved.
Aww.
I love you.
I love you too.
Aww. Number 3, it is important to be open to changing your plans. Now, in terms of the house, what this looked like was this room here. You can see the lovely red walls behind us, but these red walls were not our first choice. We ended up painting this room twice because our first choice just didn't vibe with us. It didn't quite work, but now you can see it looks absolutely gorgeous. Sometimes when you're writing a scene, when you're writing a character, it might feel like they're not quite working, or that they're almost like telling you something about themselves. It's important to be open, to listen to what your character's saying, to what the scene is saying, and to be able to pivot if necessary. You know, in my book, my main character, I kind of originally envisaged him as almost like a heroic figure in a small way. That he was always going to be this kind of small community hero. But as I've been writing more of this book, I've realized that actually he's a bit more flawed than I realized. And that has involved kind of changing up some scenes where he was quite heroic and making him perhaps the more reluctant, more kind of self-interested, self-preservation being his main focus. So sometimes you just got to open up, listen to what the scene is telling you. Last point from this rather contrived video is to clean your brushes. Okay? When you are painting a room and you've left it kind of half finished and you go to bed and you wake up in the morning and you discover that all of your brushes and rollers are dried, it is important to clean your brushes after you do your painting. What do I mean by this in terms of writing? You want to set yourself up for success, because one of the hardest things about writing is starting. Likewise, one of the hardest things about tackling a room of paint is starting. How does this work in writing? What you could consider doing is, when you come to the end of a writing session, maybe don't even end on a full stop. Maybe leave with half your sentence there, like half your sentence incomplete. What that will do is essentially the same as kind of like setting yourself up for the next time you pick up the pen. You're ready to go, you have something you can get on with straight away, so you're just starting, you're straight into it. So then you can get over the hardest hurdle, which is starting. So there you go. There are 4 rather contrived tips about writing, which are related somehow to moving house. I hope that they were somewhat helpful. Regular programming will resume soon. Laura and I are working on our book club video of Rivers of London by Ben Aranovich. That should come out this coming Tuesday. Very excited to talk about that one. We have some other videos coming up soon as well. So keep tuned to the channel for more stuff from Hardy's Books. Remember, we have a shop, hardysbooks.co.uk, where you can buy rare and antiquarian books, signed copies, first editions. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Hardy's Books. Why not go down there, click the like button and subscribe, and join us for the next video.